Okay, so this is a video about Adam Kokesh and the late thing here about the free Adam Kokesh demands that he wants people make while he's in jail. A lot of hot chicks talking, a lot of hot stylish hipster people are saying, hey, you know, he should be released from jail because he's been held for a little while. So there's a lot going on here, right? Well, here's what's happening. Adam got involved in a publicity stunt here, loading a shotgun. There's some other stuff here. This is him doing an interview from jail. He's obviously had some access to the media. There's another little snippet where he got body slammed by one of the park police thing while he was kind of doing a stunt at the
vendetta against him. He believes the evidence
there it is. Yeah, he got kind of body slammed while he was doing a stunt at the Jefferson Memorial. And so here he did another stunt in the Capitol. Now what he did was he went there in the wee morning hours when nobody was around, I think on a Sunday. He went there, it was a weekend day, wee morning hours, so there was daylight but there was nobody around. And he loads a shotgun. Well, technically he wasn't breaking the law, but you could call it disturbing the peace. His plan apparently was to get arrested and then have a big publicity stunt every time he went to court to sue to get his $250 shotgun back from the government. And he would be collecting far more than $250 just in advertising revenue and going to court back and forth for this. Well, the DC police weren't going to have any sense of humor about it, so they arrested him in a paramilitary raid, thinking that maybe they were dealing with an unstable armed person who was into dope. I don't know why you would get that impression. Obviously, he's a nice guy. He never gets high, right? Okay, well, anyway. So, supposedly, somebody found a bag of magic mushrooms in his place with the shotgun. Well, he's a guy who was planning on getting arrested as a publicity stunt. He probably wasn't so stoned that he left his magic mushrooms right next to the shotgun for the cops to find. Probably planted evidence. And that gets us into the problem with the whole Kokesh case right now is, he's obviously trying very hard to be controversial and politically active as a critic of the government, and especially as a critic of the current Justice Department. And when they play into that by arresting him and holding him without charges for a long period of time, they demonstrate their own illegitimacy. And that's part of the problem. I mean, my advice is, cut the guy loose and try hard to ignore him. But all this is going to do is erode the legitimacy of the other side. And you know what? I'm kind of glad it's happening. I mean, if Adam wants to volunteer to be a fucktard, go ahead, man. And but he's doing a pretty good job of proving that Eric Holder is a real asshole. He's also doing an excellent job of proving that a Mugabe Aristide style quasi form of government is what we've ended up with because of the current political situation taking the direction that it's taken. And so what happens? They couldn't get a lynch mob to go after Kokesh because everybody knew he was some guy who was getting high and doing stunts. So they send the jackbooted thugs after him, actually, literally. And this is just, it proves my point, really. And it's amazing, it really does prove my point. I will say this to a lot of the guys who, especially a lot of the former Marines out there, if you're going to thump your chest as a warrior and and a cop comes up behind you and does this to you, if that cop isn't on the way to the hospital or putting himself in hiding, you're not a warrior. Okay? I'm sorry. You're a publicity guy. But if that guy hasn't left town and changed his name, you're not a warrior. Come on, man. Can you name any former Marines who got thrown in jail, who were part of the Patriot movement and got in a single-handed fight with a riot squad? Come on, just throw me one name. Throw me one name of a former Marine from the Patriot movement who, let's say threw down a warden at one of the prisons. Some guy got up in his face and, your ass belongs to me, blah, blah, blah. And then, next thing the guy says, help, get him off me. Because, this Marine's got him by the neck and the riot squad's got to rescue him. I'll tell you what, I do know somebody like that. And he wasn't looking like this giving interviews from jail. Okay, he wasn't looking like that. No, it wasn't happening that way, man. Wasn't looking at that because he's looking forward to getting laid with all his groupies. Doesn't work like that, man. And so, yeah, I think the government probably, it's about time to call the game over and release Adam Kokesh. That's how it works. You release him or you charge him. And it probably, needs to happen sooner than later. If it doesn't, you know what? My heart's not broken. It's not broken over that. I'm glad that Eric Holder is proving what an asshole he is, and that there really was no hope or change with the Justice Department with the changing of the guard over the last course of the last administration. I seriously doubt that Barack Obama even knows this guy's name or even cares that much. But Adam Kokesh had been going and trying to bother Eric Holder a few times at meetings in Washington, D.C., and I would say that you probably ought to develop a sense of humor about this guy and let him go.